there's a lot of focus on Echo.
So they do choose up the Shen again. We're going to see that going. Obviously, on to Claky D is Mega hasn't played Rumble in a while, but he has a pretty sick Rumble.
Yeah, he's played Riven a lot, but that didn't work out. So they're going to switch that one up, definitely. This is one of the small adjustments. The Riven's still available, but we had enough of that one. He's too single-minded because you know, he's really in that solo 1 versus 1 minded groove with her, and it definitely showed in that game. So they just want to get a new clean slate, go with an AoE champion. Rumble does great, even if he doesn't get that early farm, as everyone's so fond of saying. So he's just a very strong pick in any situation.
You know, and two interesting things here. Jarvan really hasn't even been looked at, and that was one of Claky's favorite during the LCS, the spring split, as well as that Tristana wreaked havoc and is just allowed to once again. Yeah,
we talked about it. You know, was that going to be a point that you feel like you have to ban it out? No,
I guess not.
Maple Street going to go back with that Varus, and Nintanso happy with the matchup as well. It's going to be the exact same 2 AD carries here. Very different ones. We see that both of these are like the 2 most popular at this point, but they're very different styles here. So much CC on Varus, whereas so much late game and escapes from Trist.
So knowing that lane could be super aggressive, now, yeah, obviously Varus and Sona can poke back, but with that last one, they're just saying we can play safe, or we're actually going to try to re-aggress back onto that and shut them down ourselves.
Well, since they have another support here coming in, we might switch everything up.
Oh
this could be a solo AP Janna for the lane pushing power. It probably will still be that Sona and Ezreal, because we haven't seen a solo Sona in the LCS. It's a fun thing to do if you could rush that Sheen and get just ridiculous burst on your power chords.
2 AD carries, 2 supports.
But yeah, it's definitely an interesting look here. So we can't be sure. Maybe they're just going, you know, some strategy that you could use that nobody's ventured to yet would be 2 AD and support side lanes.
That's what,
no jungler. Have Elise mid, and then have Varus and Sona, Ezreal, and Janna.
He's in the jungle by himself anyways.
Talk about innovating here. And North American LCS. This is ground zero where it all happens.
Oh, man. We'll have to see where they choose to go with this. And they bring in almost more global presence. They switch it to Orianna at the end and before they lock it in. And it looks like they are going to go with the play it safe pick. So they can choose to dive in and then still be like, whoops, safety for this person.
They're like, we've only got 2 giant shields. Let's add 1 more shield for this Tristana here. And now he's going to be fully protected. They also have great zoning potential. They can control the area of the team fight so well with both Rumble's ultimate and Shockwave. They have great positional advantages that they're affording themselves. What I'm just extremely excited about, though, is the other side here, Velocity's team with the double AD and double support pickup.
It is interesting. If so, then they're going to switch around here, hopefully, unless he pulls out the jungle Ezreal, and that would be amazing. Where would you see, who would be the AD carry with the support if you were to play this role? Who would you want the support to be with the AD carry?
With Varus, I would definitely like the Sona, because a solo Janna is a lot stronger than a solo Sona, in my opinion, because she can shove those lanes. She's very safe, and she will. If she builds up that AP, you can get to the point where you just one-shot an entire wave, and it creates more map pressure. Now, Jungle Ezreal, they do stick with that one, and it's something we have seen before, actually even in the North American LCS. St. Vicious, a big fan of that one. His ganks are very mobile, but he has no CC until he gets his red buff. So without red buff, and people won't be very scared. He'll just add damage if he does.
Now, is that like a straight for Iceborne Gauntlet?
Yeah, I mean, this is probably going to be a blue Ezreal.
No.
Blue Ezreal works.
I've never seen one of those.
No. I mean, it's going to start off with a few other colors here, but that buy of the Spirit of the Spectral Lizard, which everyone's getting anyway, benefits Jungle Ezreal. That's 20% extra damage to the monsters.
Absolutely. So we are into Game 2 here of our best of 5. Rivington the third and Kobe bringing you the games live here. This is our second match of the day here for the summer promotion. Tomorrow, big games for CLG and Dignitas, but right now we have Velocity Esports and MRN looking at Game 2. MRN with Game 1, and the second game is on. Good luck, have fun.
It will be very interesting if we are even and we get through that mid game into the late, how this plays out, because Velocity with 2 AD carries and 2 supports can siege up very well, and they've got a lot of disengage with the Janna and the Sona that they can wait for a stray cocoon here to land from Chris. And since we saw Chris build very tanky at least last game, I would expect nothing different this game.
This is really big for MRN. They are about to walk into a ward instead of not staying out of it. So they ward a position. Both teams know that there is movement now, and we're going to see them getting themselves back up for the position. Velocity almost made it towards that blue buff without being seen, but they did go and ward themselves out.
And we did have, you know, both teams were seen exiting. So
yeah,
everyone has just information on the positions of the others. So it looks like we are going to go with another blue trade this time, and it's going to be an AD and support switch up top for Marn here. So we won't be seeing Nian Tanso go up against Maple Street.
Lao Rose is on that Janna as we expected, and Kobe was talking about that. Jungle Ezreal, how it is kind of lacking on the crowd control in the early part of the game. So we're going to have to see how they utilize it. If there was a lane that he would want to focus on more, where would that be?
Well, you probably would want to go actually to your AD and support lane, because though he doesn't have CC, he's range, and there's not many range junglers. You could get a turret down very quickly.
Okay.
If you have 2 AD carries and a support beating on a solo defended turret, then this could be, you know, a new strategy where they go for a very early turret rush instead of focusing on kills.
Oh my, Vile Rose crushing down the mid turret, already getting some damage down onto it as well. And he actually gets a wave to go in favor of the turret, but Echo level 2 as he comes in just in time.
I'm interested to see where NKink's going to go now that he has his red buff. And it looks like he is going to go with that strategy I was just talking about, where he comes down to the other AD's lane and then turns around in the tri-bush and runs circles.
Yeah, it's a good one. It really it works up the adrenaline, and you really get the cardio going for that next gank.
Yeah, he plays a nice arcane shift over the wall to go for double golems now. And it looks like all the other lanes is playing out as you would expect 2 versus 1 lanes to play out.
So we saw Chris last game below in his lane, about 30 CS below at one point in time, and he was able to come back 20 CS above Mega Zero by the end of the game. More items and more formidable. We'll have to see how he fares in the 2v1 here, as well as Mega, because he does not like it. And
Mega doesn't have that ward to defend against a 3-man turret dive, because, you know, it's Ezreal. And if he does come, it's going to be that turret push I was talking about. I saw this the first time, and I'm so glad they actually are using the strategy where they just go for the early turret rush and then try and switch up here to protect Chris's turret. Chris's turret, by the way, still at full HP.
And this is going to go down quite soon. Mega Zero called down with, or not called down, Clicky D called down to give help to Mega Zero, but it's not going to be enough. They have 3 caster minions to still tank. They take down the turret before 4 minutes, and the answer is not going to be as fast in the top side.
That innovation, North America, making me proud. Glad you guys went with it. Chris, though, he's having a hard time because Lulu plus Tristana, they've got the Glitter Lance to get all the minions low, and then Explosive Shot will chain onto the rest of the minions. So they can shove lanes extremely effectively, too. And although Velocity got the first turret, they don't really have time to switch lanes, so they're going on the second turret.
And this is big, right? We've had NK Inc. He hasn't even really been in his jungle to farm. He is soaking up everything from the bottom lane here, and he's level 4. He's still leveling with them.
Yeah, and Claky D down here basically was forced to come try and answer, since we do have the range jungler. They're just playing this so well. I love the one up here from St. Vicious. They're like, yes, Jungle Ezreal. What would he actually do better than a regular jungler? Not worse. You know what? Push towers.
So with that, right, it's very potent right now. It looks like that Marn can't stop anything in this. But does it slow down mid-game? Is he still as potent? The Jungle Ezreal.
The Jungle Ezreal. No, it doesn't slow him down at all, because, you know, he's even there with the opponent's jungler there. Claky was forced to come to lane as well. They're not... It's sort of balanced out.
Right. So he's not going to fall off mid-game.
No way. He's just roaming around taking turrets. Now he's down mid. He gets roams over to his other support. You know, secondary support Janna, giving him some AD with the shields. And this
so true, though.
This Jungle Ezreal is only a part-time worker here. He's on his vacation. Now he's roaming around to the mid. One buff is up for him, though.
No.
So we'll probably see him go get that blue one.
It's a good point you make that, right? He does have the support in mid, but then again, he has a plate support in every lane that he goes to help out, right? Elise top, Janna mid, Zona bottom.
Yes, he can go to visit any lane. Now he's going to keep this pressure on the middle. We see MRN trying to answer, and they've actually had to send Lulu down there to help wave clear, which means that Nian Tanso all by himself up against the level 5 Chris, going to have a bit more rough of a time.
So Velocity Esports really giving MRN a hard time with lane adaptation. They're just moving everywhere.
This is definitely an interesting and new strategy.
Yeah.
I love the challenger teams are really showing up. You know, even if all of them don't get in, like, you know, in Europe we had three new ones get in, they've showed that the North American Challenger circuit is definitely worthwhile, and it's worth investing in because this is at least an interesting strategy.
Absolutely. They're actually putting on the pressure they need now. It hasn't gotten them too much of a gold lead, but it has gotten them the mental lead. MRN knows they're kind of on their heels here, and still the switch up is happening. See Rumble down in the bottom. Janna returns to mid now, and it looks like, I don't know, it's going to be Claky D pressuring that bottom lane again. He has to stick with Mega.
Yeah, and really where a lot of the gold is coming back for MRN is, again, who would have guessed it? Nian Tanso with that 55 minion score here. And he almost gets the turret, but has to run away because Vile Rose joins Chris.
So now we're about 3 minutes past that first turret being dropped. MRN still has not been able to answer with the top turret lane swap. Vile Rose now to the top lane, getting that movement speed off the Janna passive and really able to lend a hand everywhere he can.
Yeah, Vile Rose doing his part also to contribute to MRN's gold lead because he hasn't been CSing as well as that Orianna. CSing with that AP Janna early takes practice. So if they just sort of stepped into this strategy, then it's going to be a little bit hard for them, and they have lost out some gold that way.
So when do you know that you can almost, when do you know when you can go aggressive on Janna when you get that wave clear? When is that level about?
It's all about leveling. Invisible tornadoes, that definitely helps. We love the Howling Gale. Once you can get that sucker up to level 3.
Okay, level 3.
Then you know that you can push those back pretty easily. You can see him zoning out 2 people here, even though he is only 1 level above Nian Tanso and Heartbeat. See, it comes through, and it's only going to leave 1 auto attack for each of the ranged minions. That's really one of the break points that you need. All she has is a ring, but it's really the levels in the Howling Gale.
All right, they're moving up here. Vile Rose, maybe if they can get behind Heartbeat and push him back with Monsoon, but he's not going to stay. Heartbeat realizes he could go down quite soon, so they back off. It looks like MRN actually putting a lot of focus towards this top lane here as Claky D makes his way.
It looks like this could be bad if Velocity overstay their welcome here because Claky has arrived. He's level 5, and there's the slow.
Oh, he gets out. He repels as soon as the taunt goes off. That's going to be quite a cooldown for Claky, and the team decides to back off.
Yeah, nice job from Chris right there. Gets them out of all trouble. They do not pay for this one, and now Velocity, they actually are swinging down mid once again. They're keeping up this constant turret pressure.
We had definite kills by this time last game. It's 0-0 still, the 400 gold lead really because of the turret. It looks like they may try to get another one here. That gold lead has pretty much just been squashed a little bit. They go on to Echo. They get the Chain of Corruption right after the Cocoon. It's one after the other. Beautiful crowd control. First blood going over to Maple Street.
Chris dodges the shockwave with his repel and gets out over the wall to the race with that very beautiful play, followed up by a failed flash over the wall. But nonetheless, it was an amazing repel.
He had a broken spider leg. It's mending. Gets in there. The crescendo on the Mega Zero. They get the hail of arrows down. It's not enough for the piercing. He is going to get out alive. Claky D on the backside taking some damage. Lose the turret. Abby goes in. He's alive.
Those heals, good thing they have 2 supports. He needed every single just ounce of healing out of that one.
Oh, I thought he was going to die from the way he did that, but wow, made it out alive. The team carries him to the fountain on a gurney, and we see this one coming up to 10 minutes here. We do have our first blood, finally. These teams are literally scratching at each other. We finally got the first drop here. 13,000 gold. That is definitely helping with that 400 first blood.
Looks like we're making a move onto Dragon area here by MRN 2. Since the top turret is down for them, that means that they don't have to send anyone up there to Chris because that one's moving, and they can have 5 members take this objective. There's plenty of steal potential on this Velocity team, though, because this jungle Ezreal, he's in position, and he could fire off that Mystic shot for a sneaky steal.
Shift in, smite, flash out. Oh, he did it. It's so good. Shift in, smite, flash out. Oh, put it in the books.
So that wasn't just firing off a mystic shot and hoping you get it. He's going to jump in there, use the smite to steal it away, and flash back out. Ezreal, just untouchable play right here.
Oh, I think we just wrote a new Old Spice commercial. 11 minutes into this one. Big plays coming from NK Inc. Didn't even need to use a true shot barrage, so they still have the factor to push here if they want to. Top lane is pushing mid lane, yeah. Bottom lane is at the river, and they don't even have to focus it right now, but they're still getting it pushed.
You're right, they're getting tower damage with only 3 people left middle. We already had Chris and Maple Street leak up top, so that means they're gonna get those extra few seconds, push this top wave, and they're constantly keeping MRN running to defend their objectives. They're gonna be a little bit late to this one, and Nian Tanso, 1 versus 2, is gonna have to back off this turret. Another one goes down for velocity.
You're absolutely right, Kobe. It's been a game of catch-up for MRN, and although it's very slow catch-up and it's not kills in the favor of velocity, there's only 1 there, it's been enough. Those few minutes or extra seconds to get to the turrets, and it's now 3-1 in turrets and 3,000 gold in the lead after really nothing but just pushing has happened.
We did have that first blue item there for the Ezreal too, as he completed his jungle stone. It's going to be that Spirit of the Elder Lizard that's ever so popular. We'll have to see if he continues with the color-coded theme or if he branches out.
We'll see. Echo pretty low in mid here, but there's no focus from velocity. So taking a little bit of a breather and a break as we look at the inventories. Shen just picking up the Giant's belt. A little bursty on the other side maybe, so he's looking for the health right away to keep in the fights for his team. Like you said, Ezreal finishing off with his item as well, and it looks like they are just going ahead. Look for the fighting phase really here.
Yeah, when you are a jungle Shen, you can't be as team-oriented and rush the Aegis of the Legion. You have to be a little bit more selfish because you're not getting as much farm, and try and get that Giant spell early, or else you're not going to be tanky enough to go in and be that tank for your team. This point is where it's crucial for Poke Comps.
Oh, again, the repel on the taunt. It's going to happen every time. Stop it, Clicky. Evanis gets forced to use that. The Chain of Corruption as well. Stacking on. The True Shot Barrage comes across. Chris looks to go down. He had to repel back into the fight. All the neutral camps were gone. And it looks like Mega Zero to continue. He doubles the Harpoon, but the Speed Aura coming out from Evaniscus is going to help a bit here. Shen coming in. Oh, he taunts onto them. No, he flashes rather for the taunt, but they flash as well. Beautiful play by Nian Tanso. They are synergizing their attacks here. Vile Rose now trying to come in, making himself killed, but actually saves Evaniscus, and they get out of that long fight.
So Chris was not able to get out of this one, but he was the only member to actually drop. Velocity did a great job of kiting there, even though they had that play. You just talked about Nian Tanso using his flash to gain distance, not only for him, but for Shen coming in with the Sand United. Great play, but they weren't able to finish that one off. Clicky D still has his own flash available for the next flash taunt.
So the ultimate's definitely going to be up before Stand United is, and Velocity, Kobe, is just on the pressure. They could go to do that fight again.
They definitely want to keep up the pressure around the map. Their whole strategy is about pushing turrets here and disengaging. They just showed it right there. They had to burn their Janet teleport, but they are keeping the minion waves shoved, and they're doing a great job now, even grouping up as 5. They have their disengage available here. The Janna, she's got blue buff, so she's ready to fire off constant howling gales as well as the shields, and they get the engage from Clicky.
Right across the command, Shockwave catches 3. It's going to be Maple Street trying to get some HP back, but it's not enough. The True Shot Barrage is not deterring anything. The team follows. They try to lace up. A Cocoon stops it and actually puts Echo around and slows him down a bit. There's the speed boost onto Chris. The auto attack coming in. One more is going to be enough, but he's got the speed right now. The ball's not there. The auto attack comes in, but the heal was there for Evaniscus. Chris gets out alive somehow. He is such a tricky spider. They only lose Maple.
The heals on this team just so clutch, and that was well played by MRN. We always talk about the bane of Poke Comps is hard engage. Clicky just got right in there, but that was the huge flash cooldown plus Shockwave not going to be available, and they only got 1 person out of it. Velocity not letting up here. They continue to push the mid lane. Now they're going to have to branch out. Both of the side lanes sort of push up sideways here, and they're going to have to get a little tip in the right direction.
Kobe, it's like the game is happening in turbo fast mode for fighting, but super slow mode for stats. It's 16 minutes in at 1-2. The gold is quite close still at about 1,000 gold in the difference, or 1,500, and it's 3-1 in turrets. No real ground is super being gained here, but MRN is slowly losing grip, that is for sure.
Yep, Velocity playing a very cerebral game here. You can tell they've had this strategy in their back pockets, waiting till they absolutely had to pull it out. They played the first game through, just sort of normal there, and now they're like, wow, we lost the first one. We can't let another one go because then we'll be on the brink of being denied our entry into the LCS. So we have to pull it out now. We're going to use our special poke strategy here, and it's very effective. They are still in the gold lead, and they still have control of the map here. As Dragon comes up in 25 seconds, we'll have to see if they actually switch their focus after shoving the lanes to try and grab that free gold, or if they just ignore it completely.
All right, Kobe. So Velocity Esports walking along the Golden Brick Road right now. But as we look in towards this late game, you have that Shen, you have that Mega Zero. Where does the initiation come from Velocity Esports with kind of these squishy champions?
We saw it exactly, played out exactly in that last team fight. The flash taunts from Klakey will be the most effective tool, but since that flash has a really long cooldown, they're going to have to find other methods of getting it started. Somebody's going to have to go in there, and maybe they'll be backed up with the Lulu Wild Growth so that they don't go down, but it's going to have to be somebody with a less immediate engage, as Val Rose just shows how Janna can usually get away from at least single ganks.
So right, as they move in, Mega Zero just missing the harpoon onto Vile Rose. Velocity forced to get out of this fight.
So,
do you see that Evaniscus just used Ignite? Yes, he did. He threw down the Ignite onto Klakey as they're trying to deter him off the turret. It's worth 150 gold to him.
And really the rest of Velocity that's not top lane right now are just trying to make Marn run around and waste their time. They're delaying the rest of Marn because they've got two members pushing up here who just got a turret, and now they're at the inhibitor turret.
You know, something we actually didn't realize is that Evaniscus did take Ignite, so they were looking to win any lane with fights right from the bat.
It was all about that early Ezreal visit to the AD and support lane. Remember I calling that one from the second buff of the jungle.
Yep.
That was their plan all along, and so going with that Ignite gives them that extra little potential where they could actually kill that single person if they stuck around by the turret, and ended up giving them, you know, some more distance and free damage on the Val Rose just running. She's got that Jenna passive.
Hit him up. There's Mega Zero coming in. Monsoon to back him away. Says, guys, I just wasted the Monsoon. Let's try to get in here. We are not going to be getting pushed out just yet. So Command Shockwave going to have a little bit more impact as they squeeze in the team of Velocity Esports. And going back a little bit, we heard about Marn's initiation. Where does Velocity come from here? They're all kind of poked. They don't really want to dive in.
They don't have initiation. Their plan is not to initiate those fights. The only way that they're going to want to initiate is if they've already poked them down, and the steals do not work out this time. Couple of skill shots flying across, but there's not going to be the old Arcane Shift Smite Flash combo because Smite was down.
That was too good. Mega Zero making his way out there. Scrap Titan making his move. And let's see Chris. Look at these guys. They're able to pretty much pressure each lane. One up top, one in the middle, and they were kind of harassing around Dragon.
And our teleport is going to be down now for that Janna, but she's going to be able to disengage merely by her kit. The cooldown on that Monsoon that we just saw her use, very short. It's only another 50 seconds for that one to come back up. She has to be careful this close to Klakey, though, because he could taunt her under a turret, and that would be a little bit dangerous for him.
That would be quite painful. We'll take a look at the AD carries here. Niantanso having a really big impact last game, as he is on your screen. 1-0-1. He hasn't really finished the Infinity Edge yet. I just combined that into one word. I'll teach you later. 5 minutes ago was when that was created last game, actually. So he is quite far behind where he was last game, but still doing okay.
And it's all about that map pressure. Yeah, you were talking about Niantanso. Look at Varus is actually caught up. He had a much bigger lead in the CS, and now Maple Street, you know, doing his part. Here goes the initiate.
On to Maple Street, but he jumps over the wall. The flash going on from Niantanso. There's a lot of damage, but that's the burst from Varus. He's only looking for auto attacks now. He is able to take one down. The lifesteal so good from Blade of the Rune King for him on that. And it looks like they are going to be able to walk this one out after the 1-for-1 on the ADs.
And they still trade 1-for-1 after using the Shen Stand United and all summoners from Niantanso. They did find another way to initiate. That wasn't a flash top, but now top taking off.
Oh, Echo, you got that pump buddy going down. No equalizer. just gonna pop him down, and here comes Mega Zero from the backside, heating things up. Vile Rose gonna be cooked to death. He's gonna get hit with a pineapple on the backside. That's quite painful if you've ever been hit with a pineapple. Chris picks one up. The spider going down well. He saves a meal for later, and the shutdown for Claky D.
Velocity doing the perfect thing here. They're not giving up at any point in this game. I've seen so many poke comps fail because after they take the outer ring of turrets, they give up and they stop with their pressure, but Velocity have kept it up on every single lane. They do not get, even though they're sacrificing their lives, they've cracked open the base of MRN, and the inhibitor is exposed, and they just have to keep up this level of up on every single lane. They do not get, even though they're sacrificing their lives, they've cracked open the base of MRN, and the inhibitor is exposed, and they just have to keep up this level of play and continue. You said it so many times, but the pressure on the base
it's everywhere.
It's mounting.
So literally from the champion select, we saw that Janna come in after we had a second support or a first support already, and you stated pushing power, and that's what they did. That was Vile Rose in the top lane pushing by himself, and it was actually Chris pushing middle lane by himself. So two of the not strongest champions on the team just split pushing. Why not?
As soon as I saw those picks come out, I was really rooting for this strategy to work because it's something that people, you know, I've thought about before, but never had to try and execute, and I've never seen successfully executed. Right here, it's all going according to plan, but it's still ever so close because you have that ticking time bomb, Nian Tanso. We can see him clean up games. We saw it last time. He's completed his Infinity Edge, and it could get very dangerous from this point on for Velocity.
That's where it becomes scary, right? When Shen is huge, when Rumble is huge, who do you initiate on?
Well, they don't initiate. They just have two members poking down the team while split pushing both side lanes. An inhibitor is exposed, so it'll be dangerous to see how long they go for this. Will it turn into a base race? MRN have a very good track record with base races.
High five in the middle for MRN. They're rolling with the 1-2-2 strategy right now. They get Mega Zero to go back, so they can't get the blue pill on right now. Shen's going to be able to go back in the bush, but which lane does he choose? Top is to the inhibitor. Bottom is about to be to the inhibitor, and Velocity Esports is not stopping. They're not letting MRN back. Continuing on, Maple Street and Evaniscus on this bottom turret, but it's also going to be Vile Rose on that top turret. MRN is so split right now.
Oh, they've been circled around, but now it looks like Mega Zero's the one that's caught.
Oh, Chain of Corruption to that, the crescendo as well. 1, 2, 3. The fourth is the command shockwave from the side of MRN, and it looks like they lose one. This could be also the inhibitor turret.
So well played by Velocity. They thought they were like, okay, all we have to do is circle around this AD and support will kill them. But oh wait, Janna's split pushing top, so they lost their focus. They're so disorganized right now. They don't know what to do against this Velocity strategy, and they are falling to it.
They don't even have mana in this bottom lane, and they're still staying to fight. They know they can just kite this one out. They have so much positional advantage on the map right now that they've literally blacked out MRN from seeing their side of the map.
Vile Rose in trouble now, though. He's used his escapes, and he's got red buff on him.
Oh, there's a blue buff. No, he knocked him away before he got the kill. Oh, Diatanzo, so unlucky.
Oh, Diatanzo, all you had to do was keep auto-attacking. You have the red buff, but he went for the kill with Buster Shot. Janna, the shields from AP Janna. OP.
Kobe, we're only 24 minutes into this game right now at 5-5, and it's a 4,000 gold lead. And I don't even want to say lead. This game is so even between that, but the turrets, the map pressure, Velocity isn't needing gold to take this. They're using position.
That timestamp is actually crucial because every second is so important in this strategy that Velocity are running. They can't waste a single movement. They have to keep up the pressure on the base of MRN. They can't let up for a second, because if they do, then they're going to open the doors for this late game Tristana for the team fight ability. One bad team fight from Velocity, and their entire strategy could collapse.
It is absolutely crazy to think it could happen like that after so much aggression, being so pushing in the lanes and being able to pretty much take down the first turret, 3 minutes and 55 seconds. And then continue it on here. 7-2 in turrets. Like I said, that positioning is really winning them everything, and they're going to go ahead. Vile Rose back down to the bottom lane, put the split push in the top and the mid. The 2-2-1 or the 1-2-2, however you want to say it, is going to be pushed again.
When you're playing these poke comps, the hardest objective to take are those inhibitor turrets, and they've already cracked one. So now they just have to take advantage of that, rush down that inhibitor. Once you get super minions spawning, the whole tone of the game just changes because you have constant pressure without having to send your mid.
Whoa, Biorose teleports back.
I was like, okay, a game-changing moment coming up here. Now all they have to do is stop MRN from recalling because they've got to buy time for this AD support to actually take out that inhibitor. Sklaky's running for it, though. Niantanso's running for it, though. Are they going to get there in time? They actually scare off Velocity, and the teleport from Janna is down. That is a huge tool that they needed to use more effectively than taking my breath away.
They're still going to put the pressure on, though. They're heading for Dragon. They're keeping the gold lead up. They're pressing advantages and making sure they don't lose any. They're putting them on a shelf, right? None of them are falling off. They're keeping buff advantages. They're keeping objective advantages, the turret advantage as well. And they're making sure, I don't know when the last time MRN's minions have been past the river.
And it's just, that's just a testament to how well Velocity have worked on this strategy and tailored it for the entire situation here. We have their Maple Street rushing that Blade of the Ruin King. We saw that used so effectively in the skirmish when he actually was caught by Niantanso. Blade of the Ruin King, more effective than that Infinity Edge Rush because in the 1v1 matchup, the active so potent that he was able to pull out a kill and trade in that. They tailored everything, even the item builds of the AD carry in this one, all going for the same objectives.
And, you know, it's usually we see the Varus building the Bloodthirster for a little bit more burst on his damage, that heal back, but Blade of the Ruin King is really what saved him in that fight, like you said. So the adaptation, the builds coming in from everybody playing a synergistic role for Velocity.
The only problem here now is that Biorose did get poked down in that middle, so it's going to be dangerous for him to keep up the third prong of this three-pronged Velocity attack on the base, and they actually are going to have to all recall because if one link in this Velocity chain falls, then everybody has to come back because they can't keep it up without everyone working in unison.
This is just getting crazier and crazier. There is no true tank here. Yeah, we have Giant's Belt just built out on Chris, but it's all damage for NK Inc. He's pretty much a glass cannon jungler right now.
He's got a little bit of red in his purple build here. So he's got some extra flavor here, and it is gonna work out well because since they are doing so many skirmishes, he needs that massive amount of lifesteal. Getting that Bloodthirster is gonna be key. He'll eventually go with that Iceborne Gauntlet, but he wanted to be at full health as long as he can because the kiting from Iceborne Gauntlet is really just gonna be the last really key to this strategy. It adds so much to a kiting comp here. When everybody gets the passive speed from Janna and the entire team of MRN is all slowed by the Iceborne Gauntlet, you're going to see just the final plan just really come to fruition.
No, I said it before, Kobe, the word synergize is really coming big for Velocity Esports here. The way they're building their team, so complementary. And at 30 minutes, we are still 5-5 in kills, about a 6,000 gold lead coming in, just short of that. And MRN has stopped the turret engagement. This, like I said, I haven't seen their minions cross the river. It's not there yet, but they are able to leave the base as a team. But here we go. Maple Street, again, going to start spreading them thin, and they're going to start spreading themselves thin, but that's strength for them, and they're going to be able to push.
And MRN need to keep looking for the same thing they've been looking for all game long, that hard engage. Flash and taunt from Flaky D is the most reliable way to get it, but we've seen them also do it with a Stand United on top of Niantanso to rocket jump in, Flash is in. There's a few other tools that they could use to get that engage that they want.
And here we have the Infinity Edge now onto Maple Street, that Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer onto Niantanso, so Tristana reaching that late game point, but only at level 15 for now. Baron coming in for Velocity.
So this is the third thing that you have to be scared of when you've got this Elise and Jungle Ezreal combo. They can two-man the Baron so quickly. MRN have an inkling of what's going on now because they have no vision, but they might be too late, and we still have Biorose pushing on the middle here.
They're going in. Baron is very, very low. They're not taking too much damage. They get it with the True Shot Barrage and get some excess damage on the backside. MRN is just going to leave with the red on this one.
Plus, Biorose is getting free hits on turrets here, uses the AP Janna shield on himself to take down the bottom inhibitor turret. They get a win-win.
He could actually keep this pressure on. He's going to go head back, get the minions down here. He's still trying to push up. MRN is completely, or Velocity rather, completely backing to get these buys in, even picking up the Oracle to make sure they can make this a clear and final push, possibly.
By God, I love Team Marn, I love Mega Zero, I love all these guys, but this right here makes me want to see Velocity in the LCS. This is just impressive play right here. So well executed, all to the 30-minute mark. One of the best executed poke-ups that I have ever seen, and they are not done yet. Now they've got the purple buff. They just need to finish off one of these inhibitors. They have 2 of them exposed.
And it's been something that players have said before, Kobe. You come into the game with a comp and then you forget to do small things. It's so easy to do until someone reminds you. I don't think that's happening anywhere. Everybody on Velocity is 110% in this game and making the right moves everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of people gave Valrose so much flack for his individual Zed play, but this more than makes up for it. Me and you, we can hear him shouting. He's been shouting at the top of his lungs for 30 minutes now. The shot calling has been on point for Valrose. He is keeping everyone in line, and they're executing it.
Going in onto Niantanto. Here comes the Shenno. That's used defensively. They can't aggress. You can see Valrose on your screen, very vocal to his team right now. They're continuing to push in. Valrose making the calls. It's on to Clinky D, but he's so tanky. A shift in here from Maple Street, or rather, coming in from Maple Street onto the shift of Niantanto, but they back off from the fight. Just so much chaos as they go in.
They got that top inhibitor, and the bottom inhibitor is still taking damage.
Oh,
and he gets there, and Chris taking damage.
Chris has... How? He doesn't even really have any items. He's got HP. This is such a big advantage for Velocity Esports to be able to do this to Marn in their base.
They are closing the fist around Martin's base, and the last inhibitor is going to go down. That'll be all 3.
Oh my gosh, around the horn for Velocity Esports. The first game in favor of Martin after being so close. This one's still equal in kills and 10,000 gold up now. How has nobody died in this engagement?
They still have the Baron buff. A little bit less than half left on that one. A couple minutes, and they have time to go rebuy and return with their lanes of double super minions. Now is the time to finish this one off. They can't stall it any longer. They have to go for that death blow and the Nexus turrets.
This is momentum for Velocity Esports. We heard it earlier. Team said if you take momentum for granted, then you're doing it wrong because it can give you the win. Velocity could be carrying this into Game 3 with a 1-to-1 on Marn. Right now, Maple Street and the rest of the team gather mid, and it looks like they are going for one final push, Kobe.
Definitely going to a Game 3. Either way, this is a best of 5. They will have to finish this one off. Can they tie it up? Velocity are going to wear me out today. I was already sick, and now, after this one, my voice is going to be that of a horse.
We'll see what happens. We can get you home right after, nice and safe, Kobe. But for now, it's going to be Velocity Esports Marn. Velocity is in the base. They look to take down the last 2 turrets. Only 11 stand on your team's side for a Summoner's Rift matchup, and Velocity has those last 2 in their eyes.
Maple Street has enlisted the power of the super minions. They've joined the army of Velocity, and they're coming in to finish them off.
Equalizer goes down. The Rylai's slowing it for now. Vileray's pushing himself ready. Monsoon to come out. The Crescendo pushed them back, though, so they didn't get the right synergy, but they still have all the damage. They cannot get to the poke comp. There's no dive available for Marn. They're pushed to their fountain for solace on this one, and it looks like it's gonna be Velocity pulling out Game 2. Let's head to Game 3.
So well deserved by Velocity. What a magnificent strategy. Double AD, double support used to their fullest potential here, and Blue Ezreal shining through as he was meant to be in the jungle, just roaming around, taking out the turrets. So well deserved, and you can see the looks on their faces. Their baby has really just grown up here. They worked on that strategy so well, and it paid off tremendously.
An intense game, having to yell over Vile Rose on this side of the factory. So just an absolutely amazing showing by Velocity there, through and through to each turret, really coming out with first blood there to bring it into their favor. The game slowed down, and it really, up until that last fight for the Nexus, was 5-5, and last game where it was almost a kill a minute up to 18 minutes.
Just beautiful play. I'm so happy that all worked out. And as soon as I saw the picks, I was hoping, but I didn't know if they could actually execute, because we've seen people try. You know, there have been the CLG Pokemp with the Trundle focus, and everyone's like, yes, that sounds so great. And Trundle's amazing in these Pokemps with the pillar spam. But really what they were missing was the jungle Ezreal, the Goldilocks coming around and joining for that early turret take, playing to the strengths of a jungle Ezreal instead of the weaknesses. I'm just so glad that I saw this. I'm, you know, people always make fun of me for being happy, but I'm extremely happy right now. That was
we speak about tricky junglers, and like I said, synergy for their comp, the Janna movement speed, Ezreal being able to do what Jarvan can times 10 with jumping over walls every so often. It really advanced that composition for him, and we can't forget the Ignite on Sona to help with the first blood in the bottom lane. Like, they planned from the first minute of this game.
Yeah, oof. I saw their dream when they picked it, and I'm so happy that they were able to execute it.